Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Brother J. Yeah, round two, and I promise y'all we're gonna get straight into some serious dope this time. Not dope. I used to smoke some weed, and I still smoke some weed, but I don't sell weed no more because I came to realize that, man, you're really just running in the circle. You wanna talk about rat race? Selling weed, man, all you're doing is you're just selling weed just to get high. You might as well just skip the sales part. Just get high and get a better paying job. Better off to do that. I ain't no front, man. For like 10 years, I was just caught up in the idea of, oh, I'm hustling weed. You know, fuck, nigga. It's not about getting weed. It is about getting green. But it's not about getting weed. It's about getting money. So keep your priorities right and you'll be good. I had my priorities screwed up for a while. I thought, oh, I'm getting weed. I'm the dope man. I'm the shit. That's bullshit. It's about getting the green. You got the green, you can buy yourself a joint. But if you ain't got no money, you can't buy no joint. You ain't no dope man either. So get the green, the real green, the money. Or better yet, get the gold. Get the silver, because silver's going to go up in value. And that's what we're here to talk about today. We're going to talk about some of the blessings my Father has created in this world for you and I to inherit. And that might sound like a religious skit going off right here, but it's not. It's just the truth. If you look around you, anywhere you are in the world is underneath your feet. Every single thing you have that keeps you alive comes from the earth except your soul. Now, this is a religious thing. Your Father gave you your soul. But the earth gives you every material thing from your Father. It gives you your food. Your Father puts the food in the ground. It grows out of the earth, and you eat it. And the minerals that came out of the earth in the food go into your body. So literally, the earth goes into your body to rebuild your body. And that sounds metaphysical, but it's not. It's true. It's a chemical reality. The dirt that the food grows in is where the food gets its minerals, vitamins, and nutrients. Those minerals, vitamins, and nutrients go into you when you eat the chemicalized, processed plant. You don't think about it as a chemicalized process because it's natural. But when a plant is growing, or a person is growing, or a dog, or a cat, or a fish is growing, it's actually a biochemical process, okay? It's a chemical process. So let's just be real about that. And those nutrients and things go into our bodies. And when you look at it on the ground, or you get something on your hands or on your pants, you call it dirt. But when you need vitamins and minerals, you don't think vitamins and minerals as dirt. You think of them as sustenance that keeps you alive from your food. Minerals. I used to think it was weird when I was a kid. There's minerals are rocks. Yes, Justin, minerals are rocks. Well, how are the rocks in food? Food grows out of the ground. It processes the minerals out of the ground into its own building materials. And when you ingest it, you're ingesting those minerals that were in the ground, those rocks. Okay. Let's not do anything. I'm leaving to that. Just hold on a second. I used to be impatient too. What that has to do with is I'm just gonna move my computer for a second so you can see it. It has to do with that. What's that? That is my prospecting kit, including the batteries. The batteries are on my solar panels, and if you look down there, you'll see a little water pump. That water pump is 500-gallon a minute water pump to run my solar panels. Not my solar panels, but to run my blue bowl right there. And my blue bowl is not a professional blue bowl. It's a bowl that's blue. So don't be a dumbass. I know that. I'm not trying to say it's a blue bowl. It is a bowl that is the color blue, as blue. And underneath the blue bowl is my tub, my washout tub. And that thing that looks like a pail, it is a pail. Okay, I'm broke. I had to work with what I had on hand. Plus, there ain't a lot of materials here in New Mexico. Well, there are, but not here in Berlin. So, you know, that pail is a processing and scooping pail. You scoop stuff out in it. And that pan back there, I'll show you that whole pan setup in a little while, probably in the next video or something. I'll demonstrate it. But that pants stuff back there, those are homemade pants that are used for uh, stratifying dirt to get down to raw materials, heavy materials. It might be might be quartz. Quartz is fairly heavy for a rock, but it might be base metals. Depending on what I'm doing, if I'm like doing metal detecting in the neighborhood park, then I'll be trying to process out any trash metals and looking for anything that might be worthwhile, like somebody dropped an earring or something like that. And it's the same process as you use for gold prospecting, gold panning, and gold prospecting. So that's what's going on, prospecting. And that is what it's all about, my man. Under our feet is everything we need. You don't need to beg somebody for a fucking paycheck if you got balls. You don't need to give away your life and all of your time if you got balls. Fucking live your life. You weren't born on this earth to fucking be a servant to some corporation or some employer or some dickhead. Fuck a job. I'm not saying fuck your responsibilities. What I'm saying is there are many ways to make a living, a good living, good money. And if you want to make really good money, I am firmly convinced that having it just above broke is not the way to go. Now, I've inherited money and that's true. But I've made money and that's true. I know how to make money. I run 3 businesses successfully, thank you very much. Anybody that can keep a business afloat for 3 years above their bills and their living expenses is a successful businessman. And I've done that actually 5 times, but 3 of those businesses went beyond 3 years. 2 of them I had up at the same time. So, I'm not bragging on myself, I'm just saying, right now I am dirt fucking broke, I'm not lying to you. I'm basically trying to learn a new thing from the ground up that I have never, ever, ever done before. Prospecting. I wasn't even thinking about prospecting when I got on the plane. It did cross my mind in New Mexico and the West have minerals and raw materials, but I'm a lazy motherfucker. I ain't trying to work like that. I was not at all interested in that when I came out here at all. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about getting myself a $15 an hour job, getting myself a fucking truck, getting my building materials and building my fucking house. Okay, it didn't exactly work like that. Stupid ass. Instead of getting my driver's license in Washington, D.C., where it would have been easy for me, I thought I would get it out here. I got out here, and they told me a whole bunch of stuff, so I can't get my driver's license out here. First of all, I didn't have a birth certificate. I lost it on the flight. And without my birth certificate, I can't get my driver's license. Guess what? So fucking pain in the ass to get your birth certificate in a different state. At least it is here. Not everywhere. Like if I was in Michigan or New York, they would get it like that. But here, it's a problem. And New Mexico's weird sometimes. It's the state of entrapment, No, really, it's the state of enchantment. That's the state logo. The state of enchantment. And I admit, the landscape is unbelievable. It really is. It chokes you up, dog. So you should definitely come check it out sometime. If you've never been to a real wilderness and you've always had concrete under your feet, you should come check this out. You owe it to yourself. At least for a little visit. And don't be a bitch about it. Don't stay in Albuquerque in a hotel. Come out here. Check out the real fucking wilderness, dude. We got fucking lions, eagles, coyotes, rattlesnakes, cows, horses, cowboys, Apaches, Navajos, and I'm not talking about 100 years ago, I'm talking about today. This shit is like a real life Skyrim, cuz this shit is crazy, yo, for real. Alright. I'm getting jacked up on this shit, but this shit is a lot like Skyrim. So if you like role-playing games, RPGs, you fucking love New Mexico. You can be any fucking character you want to be out here, for real. Just fucking make it up as you go. That's what everybody does. Look at our state governor. She's the best at it. Yeah, I like her, man. I'm taking notes from her. She's the shit. Okay, so let's get back to prospecting. Where are we at? We're at 10 minutes in this. That Smokles talks too damn much. Sorry about that. Okay, there's some things you need in prospecting. I'm gonna do some basics first. You need binoculars. Why? Because when everything looks like it's 10 feet away and it's 10 miles away, having a pair of binoculars, and one thing, this is called viewfinding. It's an extremely handy tactic I found. And then you narrow in on your target like this. You find it. You viewfind like this so that you got your normal range of vision, and you got 10x right here. And once you get it right where you want it, you're looking at something nice and clear, you can just switch over like that. You got a real good view of it. That's handy. Learned that from climbing Mount Monzon. I'll show you some pictures from the top of that jumper. Not really the top. Mount Monzon was close to 8,000 feet above sea level. I've only climbed to the midsection of the front range. There are about 7. It's like a deck of cards leaning like this. So you got a range here, and then you got a range here, and then you got a range here, and it's like these cards leaning into each other like this. So you go up a mountain, down a mountain, up a mountain, down a mountain. That's hard. It's much easier. It's a little more dangerous, but it's a lot easier walking. Go up the ridge of the mountain. If you try to go up a mountain, see what's on the other side, well, you're going to kill yourself. Just walk up the ridge to the very top. Look around and see what's there. And then decide where you're going to go next. Because you ain't going to be walking a straight line in no mountain. That's one thing I learned that damn near got me killed in the desert. There's no such thing as a fucking straight line in the mountains. Okay. So you're going to have to learn a few things in prospecting. You're going to have to learn a little bit about geology. You're going to have to learn a little bit about, yes, that's a Sharpie, mapping skills. Mapping skills with GPS are great. If you're going to do geology for real and try to make a living with it, you better learn how to read a fucking topographical map. You know, you ain't going to die out there in the wilderness. You got GPS as long as your battery's good. But if you want to find anything in the wilderness, as in, like, let's say you're out there prospecting and you find some fucking gold. You got to be able to find your way back to it again, right? I mean, if you find the gold and you don't go cash it in for cash, then it's nothing to you. It's just pretty metal. You got to take it to a city, trade it in for cash, and then once you do that, you got to be able to get back to it. Now, old timers, some of them didn't know that, and that's why there's such a thing as a lost mine. There are mines out here that are worth $1 million fucking easy, especially at these days rates. But that dumbass couldn't remember how to get back to it. So he found a fucking fortune, carried out maybe a, good crate. Gold is heavy as fuck, don't lie to yourself. A crate the size of a laptop computer and square floor mat, that should be like 150, 200 pounds. It would not be easy to carry that shit out. So, a shoebox worth of gold is heavy as fuck, believe that. Not that I've ever carried it, but just look at the mass on it. The mass for gold. Gold is one of the heaviest elements in nature. So imagine yourself carrying a shoebox full of lead all fucking day. And lead is about half the weight of gold. It's about 2/3 the weight of gold. So, but gold is one of the heaviest elements in the environment, and that brings us to the topic of stratification and how to pan. And I'm just going to shoot this shit out to you because, like I said, when I came to New Mexico, I wasn't thinking about prospecting or geology or mineralogy or cash value for stones and things like that. Rock was a rock, piece of metal was a piece of metal. It was all pre-manufactured. But when I got out here, It's under your feet, dude. If you want it, it's right there. All you gotta do is just take it. And ain't nobody gonna get mad at you. Ain't nobody gonna get mad at you. It's yours. You can have it if you want to bend down and pick it up. People don't want to get their hands dirty though. People don't want to work, so they don't bend down and pick it up. Go figure. I guess they'd rather work for somebody their whole life. That's them. Okay, so we're at 15 minutes in this video. I'm gonna run down a few more little pieces of equipment on my prospecting kit, and then I'm gonna call it a break on this video. Now I'm gonna tell you that I believe in self-sufficiency. And just like the old prospectors in the 18 and 1700s, they didn't have no fucking Walmart to go to. They had to know how to make shit. And if they didn't know how to make shit, then they had to make it as many times as it took until they figured out how to make it. Okay? So I make my shit. Now, it might not look like the stuff you pay your money for, but I bet you I get as much gold in the shit I make as you catch in the stuff you paid for. Alright? So you need a clear bottle. I strongly recommend aspirin bottles, because they are almost crystal clear. I don't know what kind of plastic that is, but that is some good plastic. When you got a material in there with water in it, I'll show you later. But man, it looks like clear crystal. You put some water in here with some materials in there, you can see clearly what's in there. There's no question about it. Might be iron pyrite, might be gold, might be silver, might be lead. But if it's in this joker and you got sunlight, you don't have to tamper with going in the bottle. You can look straight through the bottle and you'll see on the bottom whatever heavies you got in there. So this is called my solids container. That's what I call it. It's for my solids. It's my solids catcher. I don't have a snuffer bottle right now because that's out there on the mountain. And I already told you in my last video, the mountain is 30 miles from Berlin. I work 20 hours a week at McDonald's here in Berlin. I got fucking tired of riding that bicycle 30 miles to a 6-hour-a-day job. You know, that's fucking retarded. I was riding 6 hours a day on the bike and working 6 hours a day at the job. That's crazy. I'm only getting $7.50 an hour on the job. Fuck that. So I moved into town. Got me a little place for about, I'm not going to tell you how much, but believe me, if it was more than $200 a month, I wouldn't be here, because I'm not here to spend my money on rent. I'm here to learn some skills and build my property. But anyway, I'm about 4 blocks from McDonald's, and that's cool. Other things. So yeah. So that's for containing my my concentrates, my solids. I call them solids. Other prospectors call them concentrates, and that's the proper term. Concentrates. Black sands, gold, and heavies that'll settle at the bottom of your pan after you do your panning, final panning out. Now, there's a lot of equipment you can spend your money on in gold prospecting. We can talk about that if you want. You can send me some emails or whatever. That's cool. But I'm not gonna get into that in my videos. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the raw shit you got to have to prospect for as cheap as fucking possible. Because if you're spending money on equipment, you're not gonna make any money on gold, dumbass. The whole objective is to get free money. That means your equipment needs to be damn near free. Flea markets. In Berlin, you're better off at the flea market than the Walmart anyway. So flea markets, Dollar General, Dollar Tree. Anything that says fucking dollar before the name of the store, that's what's up. You can get prospecting equipment there. Like what? My bowl that is blue. You might laugh at it, but when I show you this bowl, this joke works, cuz. What's that? That's a piece of my blue bowl. No, this is actually almost the same thing, but a little different. About 6 blocks from here, there's a park, and at that park, there's a little kitty set up made of plastic. It's already busted. I did not break it. Thank you. It's already broken. But since it was broken and I needed something to dig in the ground with, to claw in the ground with, I took a piece of broken plastic. You gotta use what you got on hand. This shit was right there and I needed something to dig sand with. And I kept it because it worked good and it's fucking broken already. Ain't nobody gonna miss this. It's a piece of broken plastic off a plastic sliding board. I scooped my little thing up in there and poured it in my, not this is my finishing board. I actually poured it into this. This is my prospecting board, but it's not fully assembled right now. The reason it's not fully assembled is because there's another piece that goes with it, which I have set back here. Excuse me, smoke about that. This. Now, this might be kind of hard to see. But if you look at it from an angle, you'll see that it's a piece of floor mat. Why do I use this? You see those ridges in it? You'll learn that when gold runs down a stream bed, little ridges are where the gold will settle. We'll get into that more. But as the gold travels down the path, like let's say this is a stream bed, it travels down the center of this path at the deepest part. Gold is the heaviest thing in the water, so the gold is going to go to the lowest part, always. Gold is the heaviest thing in the water, it's going to go to the lowest part, unless there's palladium or some shit that'll be there too. It's going to go to the bottom, alright? But it's not just going to go to the bottom. This would be bedrock. Okay, this would actually be the bedrock. And the gold particulates and little pebbles of gold will get trapped in these little ridges in the bedrock, little cracks in the bedrock. Or maybe stones. Like out here, we don't have bedrock exactly. It's called caliche. And what caliche is, it's kind of like natural concrete, and it's got a bunch of rocks and shit in it. So when it gets wet, it's all squishy together and flat, and the water goes shooting right down it. But it's got these jagged rocks in it with all these little cliffs and ditches and shit. So as the water was shooting down the stream, these little glitches in the rocks and things catch any heavy particulates. They catch the heavies. Wherever the water flows and something stops it, if there is gold, it will stop at that point. For example, you have a stream bed. In that stream bed, you have an obstruction. Big ass rock. And let's say that the rock kind of slopes a little bit so that the water has to actually go down to the rock. The water is pushing down toward the bedrock against the sheer side face of this boulder. Water pressure goes down toward the bottom of the rock in the caliche, and the heaviest materials drop out close to there. Now, if the water pressure is really strong, it might force its way around the rock. If it does force its way around the rock, then the heaviest materials will drop out at the tail of the rock. So, tradition is check the back end of the stream. In other words, you got water flowing and you got a blockage, a rock. Check on the back side of the water flow. The water hits the rock, that's the front side. The water goes around the rock, that's the back side. It'll drop out the gold on the back side. It's a water vortex pressure thing. It's complicated, but it's my understanding that the water drops out on the back side of the rock. Also, there's a thing called gold streaks. Let me use this a little bit. So, let's get ourselves a little mountain terrain going on here. So let's pretend this is a good mountain terrain. Some ditches and everything going on here. Okay, we got a good little mountain terrain there. Now, if you look, you can let the shadow guide you. You know that right there is the low spot. And then the low spot will come down here and boom. It's flowing in my pocket, but if it was a mountain, it's probably deposited into the ocean. Okay? You follow this stream, and all these little ridges right in here would catch any particulates of gold. If it was big gold and you had big ridges, then it would catch big gold. If you had big ridges and it was little gold, then the gold would get caught up in little crevices and rocks. And they call that crevicing. Now, that's all well and good. What exactly is this thing here? this thing here has some excess glue on it that I had to get off. But what this is my gold mat. You need a gold mat. Now it doesn't have to be this. Here's the way my gold mat works. It is structured like this. Half of the pan has no mat at the bottom, and there's a reason for that. Half of the pan has a mat at the bottom, and one wall has a mat going up the side. Now you might notice in the bottom there's a ridge. There's a ridge. That ridge goes underneath the mat. That ridge goes underneath the mat. Why? Because when I'm stratifying, the heavies want to go to the bottom. The lowest place in the pan is that ridge underneath the mat. So the lighter material ends up on top of the mat. If I want to dry wash it off, I just dry wash the top material off, because I know that the heaviest material slid underneath the mat. Most of it, probably about 90% of it. Any heavy material that did not slide underneath the mat gets trapped in the ridges in the mat. Getting that out of there is not hard at all to do. It's a simple matter of stratifying. You stratify about 3 or 4 times in this pan. And then after you've done this pan, you have 2 options. This is my black sand pan. This is only for black sand. I use this for catching black sand and really fine flour gold. You probably can't see, but there is a little dimple right in the middle of that. You really can't see it, but there is, trust me, there's a little dimple right in the middle of that. Why? It's got little ridges on the side. You see these ridges here? I took a piece of hose and I cut it in half and I glued it right here to the sides. And what that does is it makes ripples, so that as I'm going like this, I can stratify the material, let the light stuff wash over, while the heavy stuff sinks into the dimple at the bottom. It's like the old school tin pans that they used to use in the 1800s. They were built like a conical, like a cone. They were built like a real shallow cone, and it was important like that. They had a shallow cone, and then they had a lip, kind of like a cake pan, but it came at a 90-degree angle. And the reason they came at a 90-degree angle was the same reason we have riffles in our pans. That 90-degree angle on the riffle keeps the heavies from jumping out the side of the pan when the water and the lights go out the side of the pan. And we'll talk about stratifying and all that in a little bit. But this is my black sand and fine gold separator. I basically use this for testing. If I'm trying to test something, I don't have all the things. I have to dig a 3-foot hole first. After I dig the 3-foot hole, I have to I forgot the word. I got to separate the big rocks from the little rocks from the pebbles from the fine grains from the micro grains. It's what they call it, classify. I have to classify my materials. Classifying means you got big rocks, little rocks, pebbles, and then grains of sand, and then things that are small, so small you can hardly even see them. And the things that are below a grain of sand or the size of a grain of sand, I use this. I'll teach about that in a little bit. I actually use this in conjunction with this by setting it in there like that, and then I can just pour the water off. And I'll show you the whole process in a little while. This is my stratifier bowl, or my prospecting bowl, or my blue bowl. And it's only a blue bowl because it's a bowl that's the color blue. Don't be an ass. I will, however, show you how to make a bowl out of this that will work as well as a $100 blue bowl. I've done it. I know it works. I'll show you how to build it, I'll show you how to set it up. It'll require a Tsunami sump pump and it'll require a power supply. You don't have to get solar panels. You can just run off of your car battery if you want to do that. But you have to be careful not to drain your car battery, because then you will be fucked. Okay? I recommend you get a 100-watt solar panel. If you're going out in the wilderness, you need electricity. In the old days, you had to have matches. So there are two things that you absolutely have to have anytime you get in your car and leave your house. I don't care where the fuck you live. You need to have 4 lighters in your car, because you need to have the capacity to make heat, fire. Fucking break down on a highway in a snowstorm and 2 feet of snow. You might be in the middle of Baltimore or Boston, but you will fucking freeze to death. So you should have 2 lighters in your glove box. And damn, I forgot the other thing. Oh right, a blanket and water. So there are 3 things. You always have 2 liters of water available. You always have a warm blanket, always, in the trunk of your car. You always have fire. That's to keep you alive. Now, to get you out of the fucking wilderness without having to walk, I've walked 30 miles. That ain't no fucking fun. Even when you want to walk 30 miles for some crazy reason, that ain't easy. You'd rather drive out. So, always carry a spare battery for your prospecting. Always. You shouldn't be prospecting off of your car battery. Not a good idea. And if you can get a 100-watt solar panel from Harbor Freight or whatever, yeah, make a move, man. Solar panels ain't shit. Alright? Classifying bowl, my prospecting bowl. This is for things about the size of a grain of sand up to little pebbles, you know? When I get it smaller than that, I take it into this other bowl and I work it down on the white lid. But I prospect things the size of grain of sand to very small pebbles in here. I'm not going to get into anything I found. I have found quite a few things, but if you put them all together so far, it's just something to look at. It's not something worth any cash. But the point is, I found it, and I'm finding more and more and more of it. So the longer I do it, the better I get at it. You're going to need some extracurricular shit. You're going to need a materials pail. The materials pail handles your materials. It handles your dirt, it handles your cones, it handles your small materials pails, because you're going to have many concentrates. So you want to be able to stack like 9 buckets in one. Like you can get 9 buckets into one single bucket, man, you're working to do that. One of those Russian dolls they used to have, 6 Russian dolls inside of one big one. Something like that. It's like that. You want a lot of pans and buckets, and you want them quick and easy. Okay, these are not both the same thing. They're just made from the same thing. Ice cream container. Doesn't matter. Any ice cream container will do. My buddy Don, he likes coffee containers. I don't like coffee containers. I don't think I like that. This is an ice cream container lid, but there's a difference. This lid has been trimmed very smooth on one edge. And the reason for that is so that I can use it as a scoop. I can scoop out of a river, I can scoop out of a stream. It's not strong enough to scoop out of dirt, of course, but if I'm in water, like the Rio Grande or something like that, or a mountain stream, I can scoop straight out of the riverbed with this. If I want to get down to crevicing, then I got to have a steel spoon, because you got to have something harder than a rock to crevice, so you have a steel spoon for that. And another thing, coffee can. I said I don't like them, but there is one thing I like them for. I found this out and I was like, that's dope. As you can see, this coffee can is slightly modified. I have cut the outside edge to half of the can. And the reason for that is because it's rippled in here. And I found out these ripples, especially if you put rubber texture, like take rubber paint and put it in here. I haven't done it on this can yet, but if you take rubber paint and put it in here on these ripples, then you can just very gently just swoosh, 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 swoosh. Man, you can go through a massive amount of river material in this little can in no fucking time at all because of this ridge right here and these rubberized ripples. You can go through a rock of fucking material, man. And that brings us to a numbers game. Prospecting for gold or silver or anything is about parts per million. Parts per million. I learned about parts per million in chemistry, but it also applies in earth sciences. There are how many pieces of agate in a million pieces of sandstone. There are how many pieces of quartz in a million pieces of granite. Pieces per million of. Okay? What that means is on average, you have to move, I was looking at this on the USGS about 2 weeks ago. I think the numbers were that you have to move at 1 part of gold per million parts of material, total soil. You would have to move 1 ton of material to get 1 gram of gold. That's a shitload of work. 1 part per million of gold in the soil means you have to move 1 ton of dirt to get 1 fucking gram of gold. Those numbers suck, although gold is nice. However, 4 parts per million means you don't have to move a fourth of a ton of dirt, a quarter ton of dirt to get 1 gram of gold. Or if you do move a ton of dirt at 4 parts per million, you'll get 4 grams of gold. So for every part per million gold in a ton of dirt, you'll get 1 gram of gold. Move 1 ton of dirt, you'll get 1 gram of gold for 1 part per million. You got 4 parts per million and you move a ton of dirt, you'll get 4 grams of gold. You got 10 parts per million in a ton of dirt, you move a ton of dirt, you'll get 10 grams of gold. Now, 10 grams of gold, at today's prices, that's worth going for. That's a good fucking chunk of money. Especially if you know a few things about gold, which I'm going to tell you in this next video. Okay, check. By the way, this is 37 minutes, so I might have to figure out how to chop this video in half. I'll let you know.